My idea with like art is I take it very serious. I want it to be sacred. So I don't like think I'm gonna write a movie. No, I write movies. It's like you gotta write a bunch. You gotta master the craft. I didn't like release music till I had made hundreds of songs. So it's like you don't just like write one movie and be like, dude, I write movies.
I remember when I was in college, about 2023, I was eating in the cafeteria when a song I never heard before came on. It had an interesting vocal style I never heard before, and I immediately wanted to know what the song was. So I used Siri to help me, and I discovered that the song was Miss You by Oliver Tree. When I went back to my room, I looked up the song and watched the music video to Miss You, and that is when I went down a rabbit hole with the music videos of Oliver Tree. Before I get into his videos, I think I should talk about who Oliver Tree was as a musician. Born Oliver Tree Nickel in Santa Cruz, California, he grew up immersed in music and the arts from a young age. Before adopting the eccentric persona that made him famous, he experimented with a variety of musical styles and even released music under the name Tree. Just Tree. His early work showed a willingness to blend genres and ignore convention, something that would become a defining characteristic throughout his career. After signing with Atlantic Records, Oliver Tree developed the sound and larger-than-life character that audiences came to know. In his first album, Ugly is Beautiful, his music is sort of a semi-blend of rock, pop, and hip-hop, which would be the same for the album Alone in the Crowd as well, and his last album Love You Madly, Hate You Badly. Although in Cowboy Tears, he goes for a more pop, country sound. He was an artist that was not afraid to experiment, and became known for hits such as the aforementioned Miss You and the song Life Goes On. Although he has a wide array of other songs that have such memorable and unique music videos that I just need to talk about. Oliver Tree was one of those artists that was incredibly unique when it came to his style, his music, and definitely his music videos. The reason I became a fan of his work was because of how much I loved his music videos, and I would watch every one of them and just see how unique and interesting they were. Watching them now, it kind of feels eerie seeing that the subject matter of most of the music videos, and even with his songs, involves the idea of Oliver getting hurt or even dying. But I am here to talk about what made Oliver Tree such a great music video director. But before I get into this, be sure to like and subscribe to Film 513. Okay, let's do this. One of the biggest reasons Oliver Tree was such a great music video director was because he understood something that a lot of artists and filmmakers seem to forget: building a recognizable image for yourself. Oliver Tree understood this better than most artists of his generation. At first glance, Oliver Tree seemed like a joke artist. He dressed ridiculously, performed absurd stunts, and presented himself like some strange cartoon character. But underneath all that is someone who understood visual storytelling better than many artists working today. Because while most musicians use music videos to support their songs, Oliver Tree used music videos to build an entire world.
I kind of thought that your music would be shallow before I listened to it, just because I've just seen images, like I've seen different just clips. You know, I haven't seen any actual, I didn't sit down and listen to a full song until much later. And when I listened to your music, I was like, oh, this is deep, this is vulnerable, this is tapping into a place of genuine self-expression.
Every video felt like it belonged to the same universe. The bowl cut, the sunglasses, the brightly colored jackets, the scooters, the bizarre characters. It wasn't just branding, it was character creation, and that's what made Oliver Tree different from so many artists of his generation. Most musicians spend years trying to build a recognizable image. Oliver Tree managed to create a character so iconic that you could identify him from a single frame. If you saw a silhouette of that bowl cut, you already knew exactly who it was. That kind of visual identity is very rare to pull off, but he managed to make it work. One of the reasons this worked so well was because Oliver Tree understood the value of committing to a character. A lot of artists create characters for their music videos, but very few are willing to completely disappear into them. Oliver Tree never seemed interested in breaking character or reminding the audience that it was all an act. Whether he played the character of Turbo, Shawnee Bravo, or Cornelius Cummings, he always played the role with complete sincerity. The joke was that Oliver Tree genuinely believed everything he was doing was completely normal. That commitment made the absurdity even funnier. Since he was doing all the videos himself, he had much more creative freedom to do what he wanted to do with his image. But it was not just his image that made his music videos memorable. What separated Oliver Tree from everyone else was his understanding of what grabs people's attention. Anyone who has seen an Oliver Tree video will know exactly what I mean by this. His videos are often incredibly surreal, with many of them being filled with images that are either meant to be cool, provocative, or just plain weird. Think of his music video for Hurt, a video many people claim is his best. That video is basically a hodgepodge of images based on the words I just used to describe his videos. It goes from him being dead in a Talking Heads outfit to him getting his head blown off by a tank, then it all of a sudden cuts to him getting out of a suitcase and him falling down. Wow, you know, the more I talk about this, the more depressing and sad it gets. This isn't the only video in his discography that brings up death and injury. I mean, a lot of his music videos do that, but this video is specifically one that gave me a bad taste in my mouth because of all the references to death. Not to say that the music video is bad in any way, but it's just depressing to think about what happened to him and watching these videos at the same time. Listen, many people have interpreted the recurring imagery in Oliver Tree's work in different ways. Whether those themes were simply artistic choices, reflections of his personal outlook, or something else entirely is impossible to know, but honestly, I don't want to speculate. But I will say this. What is clear is that beneath all of the comedy in his videos, there is usually a genuine sense of sadness. Many of his songs explore heartbreak, loneliness, frustration, and the feeling of being misunderstood. Rather than expressing those emotions through traditional dramatic imagery, Oliver Tree often transformed them into physical comedy. The emotional pain found in the music became literal pain in the visuals. Okay, that's all I have to say for that.
I've lost people in my life when I was younger, and it was pretty heavy duty for me. That was always a big thing of like, well, what happens after life? And almost in a way, preparing myself for my own death. And so kind of like putting myself into those scenarios and kind of living it so that I could kind of experience it and process it so that it's not such a big deal, because death is like something that, especially in the West, we don't really know how to talk about it, and it's kind of something we sweep under the rug.
Most of his videos feel less like traditional music videos and more like short films. Every video he made doesn't have very complex concepts. Even though Oliver's videos were pretty big budget, he knew how to keep things small. He never relied on big visual effects and usually almost always relied on practical effects. If anything, when he used visual effects, they were pretty ugly. And I mean, that was his brand. His first album is literally called Ugly is Beautiful. Oliver Tree's videos often centered around a single memorable idea and push it as far as possible. Like in Cash Machine, the entire video shows him on a car boat with lots of gold behind it, and then he gets into lots of big hijinks along the way. Or in Cowboys Don't Cry, which is about him trying to get back together with his girlfriend. The concepts are easy to understand within seconds, but they are executed with enough creativity that they remain entertaining throughout the entire video. I especially love his videos in the Alone in the Crowd era. If you remember what I said about all of his videos being in the same universe, well, he takes it a step further by creating an ongoing story throughout this era. His videos for Bounce, One and Only, and With You follow the surreal journey of Cornelius Cummings as he is chased through a city by a mysterious group of agents who are seemingly trying to capture or perhaps transform him in some way, I don't know. While the plot is intentionally ambiguous, that's part of what makes it so engaging. Rather than spelling everything out, Oliver Tree invites the audience to piece together the story themselves. It shows how much he grew as a director, moving beyond standalone music videos and experimenting with visual storytelling, where each release became another chapter in a much larger narrative. He kind of did this with the Cowboy Tears era, but he didn't really go all the way with it. During the last 2 years of his life, he started making music videos that had noticeably lower budgets. That's because he left Atlantic Records. But even with the lower budgets, he was still able to create music videos that were incredibly memorable. His music videos for Superhero, Flowers, and All You Ever Wanted were videos where Oliver Tree did not play a character, but instead he uses creativity to make something truly memorable. Each video takes simple ideas and commits to it completely. Like in Superhero, Oliver Tree plays this clumsy wannabe superhero who's very awkward, vulnerable, and often the source of comedy. In All You Ever Wanted, he's a knight surrounded by monuments of swords, which is a real location in Georgia, the country, not the state. And in Flowers, he's and he's basically cleaning abandoned planes. Okay, let's move on. In many ways, Oliver Tree approached music videos the same way great filmmakers approach movies. Every visual choice served a purpose. Every costume helped build the character. Every stunt reinforced the themes of the song. Every video contributed to the larger mythology surrounding the Oliver Tree persona. While many artists treated music videos as advertisements, Oliver Tree treated them as an extension of his storytelling. That is why I believe Oliver Tree was such a great director. He understood something fundamental about visual storytelling. People remember characters, images, and importantly, people remember how something made them feel. Through a combination of comedy, creativity, vulnerability, and complete commitment to his vision, Oliver Tree created some of the most distinctive music videos of his generation. Even years later, they remain impossible to forget. Thank you all for watching, hope you loved this video, and like and subscribe to Film 513.